All right, we're here in the in Keenan Football Center. I'm Ross Marr with Inside Carolina, alongside Jeff Schoettmer and Shakeel Rashad, former UNC linebackers. Y'all's last season was 2015, the ACC Coastal Championship season, and now they're back on the staff with Larry Fedora. Jeff is working with linebackers, and Shakeel is working with safeties. So in general, just a discussion here, like what's it like being back in Chapel after being gone for 2 years and kind of trying the NFL route and that kind of stuff?
I'd say the biggest thing is Chapel Hill is different. You know, there's Target on Franklin Street. There's new buildings going up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the biggest thing. I noticed. I was driving down Franklin and I didn't even recognize half the places that were here. So, for one, that's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, I think it's changed a little bit. It's still fun though. It's still Chapel Hill. I still love it, but it did look a little different this time we came back. It's some places, like there's a hotel right up there now.
Yeah.
It's weird. It looks so different, but it's still a great place.
What about the program? Has anything changed from when you were here for those 3 or 4 years, and then obviously 2 years come back and they had the 3-9 season? Anything with the program that's kind of shifted other than obviously the differences in the staff?
Yeah, I mean, the difference in the staff, but I mean, so our last year, JP was our linebackers coach, and now he's the D coordinator. So it's cool to see him, grow in that role. I always knew that he had the ability to be a D coordinator and probably a head coach one day. So it's cool to work under him. We were coached by him our senior year, and now we're working directly with him. So I think that's the coolest thing, is just to be able to see how smart he is and work with him on a daily basis. So
yeah, anything you noticed with the program that's changed?
I mean, obviously the people, like you're saying, the staff's a little different. The team's a little different now because we had our guys we were used to here with, right? We go 4 years with all these guys, and we come back and they're all gone.
Yeah.
Some of the younger guys are still left, but it's a new team. It's weird. It's college football, so it's like the same stuff goes on with every team, but it's the same stuff with different faces. So it's really cool to see these guys going through the same things we did a couple years ago. For
sure. And then going back to 2015 season, kind of a very special season for UNC fans and y'all, of course. What is your best memory from that season? We'll start with Shaq.
Best memory from that season had to be the Virginia Tech game when Quinn Shad right across the hall over there. Shout out Q.
Yeah.
When he caught that ball and scored in overtime, it was insane. It felt like it was setting up to be not that we were thinking that at the time, but looking back at it, it feels like if I watched the game, it feels like it was like an epic setup. Frank Beamer's last game, we go up, they battle back late, we go to overtime at their place, and it's like, oh my gosh, watching, I was like, this is setting up to be like a movie moment. We found a way to just get it done in overtime, and everyone went nuts after the game. It was insane, but that was probably my favorite memory for sure.
Did you have a different one? Obviously, that was a special one.
Yeah, I mean, that was special, but I'd just say the biggest thing about that team was how close the guys were. I mean, now I keep in touch with, try to as many guys as I can from that team, but just how close we were, and that's why we were so good that year. We've had talent through all the years that I was here, but we didn't really have the leadership or the camaraderie we did that year. And everyone just got along and was in it for the team's goals, and that's why we were so good. And just we had the freak show a couple days ago, and all those guys come back, and we're still, you pick off where you left off with them. Maybe you hadn't seen a guy in a year or two, but right when you see him, it's just like you've been with them for the last 5 years.
What about the ACC championship game? That'd be pretty cool, facing Clemson, how that ended. Any strong memories from that night and that moment in Charlotte?
It was a tough loss, probably the toughest loss of my college career, maybe even life, because we went into that game. I don't think the outside world gave us a chance. We were a top 10 team, but everyone kind of looked at us like, Clemson, they got Deshaun Watson. Yeah. They're going to roll over Carolina. And, right in the second quarter when we go up and TJ Logan scores that, long touchdown, we just felt the confidence that we belong here. And that was the most fun part for me, is we kind of brought Carolina back to where they should be. I know we've had a little drop off, but due to some injuries and other things, and I think that we can get back there very soon.
Well, you Shaq, that moment, night in Charlotte.
Yeah, no, it was really cool to think back on and realize the opportunity we had. Right, if we won that game, there's a chance we go to the playoff. But at the same time, I guess like the competitor in me and Jeff and I talk about this all the time. Like, still feel a little bit sick about that game.
Yeah.
That's like the only game that I didn't go back and watch. So all of our games on Sunday, we had a little tradition at our house. Sunday, me, Crowley, Mikey, and whoever else wanted to come over. We get done here and then we watch a TV copy of the game. It's the only one we didn't do it with.
Like the DVR version.
Yeah, we would DVR then watch a TV copy of it the next day, and that's the only one I didn't do it with.
And we won't get into the Baylor game.
No.
That followed that season.
We won't get into that.
Yeah.
Buried that.
But any really funny moments that you can remember from being a student and a player here, or something that sticks out with a character on the team or a coaching staff? Hard to put you on the spot here, but I mean, I know Shaq is a kind of the comedian of the group.
I would just say just the outfits that this guy would wear around the facility and around
campus.
campus.
Let's get into it.
I mean, you probably whoever's watching this follows Shaq on Twitter and Instagram.
And if you don't yet, you should now.
follow both of them. But
what are the outfits?
You know, he would wear these. He would wear a lot of lacrosse shorts. They'd have like monkeys with bananas on them and just stuff that a lot of guys on the team would give him a hard time for. But you know, that was his thing. He would never match colors. So he would wear something purple with something green and something yellow. Like, none of his colors matched. And that was kind of his style. I mean,
I remember you had a pretty nice outfit after a game once with like a seersucker jacket, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And then I remember the basketball game when y'all were like welcome home as AC champs. You wore like this rip-off, like off-color. What brand was that jersey combo?
I don't think
like
it was a brand. I don't think it was a brand.
It was like a starter, like middle school.
Yeah, and the cool thing about that jersey that I didn't learn until I talked to somebody that played basketball afterwards about was that it's number 56, and you can't wear that number in college basketball. So I don't know where that jersey was made at, but I love it.
Where'd you get that?
A thrift store for like $4.
That's awesome. Yeah, Gene Chizik. What was your strongest memory from him, other than just the generic like he's a good leader type answer? He obviously made a difference, and his 2 years here were a pretty good time for UNC and their defenses.
The biggest thing for me was, so he was the D coordinator at Texas in 2005 when Vince Young played there, and I grew up in Dallas, so I was the biggest Texas football fan. So just to be able to ask him all these questions about those guys and those teams, I think that was one of the coolest things for me. But just the presence he brought to our team. He's awesome. He's awesome.
Yeah. Anything special, Shaq?
I just remember, I have a ton of memories from it, but I think one of the best ones I have is this first team meeting, the first defensive meeting we had with him. And I remember like two of the huge things he said were that he's like, I'm going to treat all of you like men, or treat you with respect as long as you're doing that with us, And so it was like a mutual respect, and that's what you love to have with your coaches. And that's not to say that we never had it before, but it just, for him to come in and have that be the first thing he said was pretty cool. The other thing he said was that he was going to set a standard. He's like, here's what we're trying to do. Here's our goals. Here's what we get done. And I'm not coming off it. He's like, you got to hop on this bus we're going, and we're not coming off that standard.
Do you see any of that in Papuchis in terms of just how he operates and what he's learned from Chizik? Because obviously he coached under him for 2 years. How is that? How are they the same and how are they similar? Sorry, how are they the same and how are they kind of different?
So I'll start. I think they're the same in that they both have a similar philosophy and schemes. I think JP, he can be more aggressive because they're further along with our defense now. Chizik in his first 2 years, he wasn't able to call the things that he would in year 4 that JP is going to be able to do. And then also I'd say their style of dress is different. Chizik, we like to give
shirts,
we like to give him a hard time for some of the shirts he would wear.
JP's a little new age.
JP's he's more
Vineyard
of a Vineyard Vines,
Maryland
type attire, and boat wear, that you wear. And Chizik, he would wear some of these plaid shirts, right?
Some good looking shirts.
That
floral designs.
That Shaq really likes, though.
Good shirts.
Just to keep it light, their dress and style was complete opposite.
Nice. And then kind of looking back, how was y'all's NFL career? We'll start with Shaq. How'd that kind of go? What was it like? Obviously, I don't think either of y'all made it to a 52-man roster. Is that correct?
No.
It's like embarrassing on TV here. But can you just briefly kind of talk us through? I know you run practice team for the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
What was that like? What was the NFL experience, the tryouts you've had, and those kind of 2 years, testing what the NFL had to offer?
It was fun. Obviously, I would have loved to get to play in the regular season, but like in a game. But I mean, I had the time of my life. I met some awesome friends up there. Got to compete and play with like some of the best guys. Like every day in practice, you know, being on the practice squad, I was going against the ones, right? So I was getting to go against. I look across the ball like DeAndre Hopkins is over there. So it was awesome. And then we practice against other teams. So I practice against some of the best in the game. You know, you go out to practice and I'm walking off the field next to Tom Brady. So it was a cool experience getting to play with all the guys and against all the guys that you grew up watching. I loved it, man. There were days, you know, guys' helmet falls off and you get to run in there with the ones, and now you're looking at like Vince Wilfork. It's like, oh, what's happening, you know? But it's a lot of fun, and it was an experience that I'll always remember and I'll cherish. Wish it had lasted longer, but I still love being around the game now.
Do you have J.J. Watt's number?
No, I don't have J.J.
Do you know him?
Yeah, no, I know him. I've been in like a group text and stuff. You know, like there's times that I don't know. I didn't want to be weird and like walk up and get his number. It wasn't always going to hang out with him on the weekend. You know,
what was he like that we don't see? You know,
No,
obviously one of the most famous players in the league right now.
The guy's awesome. I think he gets a bad rap for that video where he was like rapping on Hard Knocks or whatever. But I mean, I loved him. It was a great experience. Really cool guy. I enjoyed being with him.
Jeff, you were with the Saints for a little while. Can you walk us through your NFL kind of experience?
Yeah, so ours was similar at the first. You know, we both signed as undrafted free agents, but once you do that and you're on the off-season roster, they don't care if you're a first rounder, second rounder, or undrafted. You know, you're on the team trying to make the team. And so we actually, funny story, so our second game, we went to Houston to practice against the Texans. So we're going against each other in practice and on special team stuff, obviously, because we both played defense. And in the game, I was on kickoff and he was on kickoff return, and he was blocking me. So I was running down on kickoff trying to make a tackle and trying to make the team, you know, any way I can. Yeah. And Shaq's blocking me, and he's trying to talk to me while I'm trying to make the tackle. And
absolutely strapped him up.
Yeah, he blocked me pretty good on one of them, but, you know, it's not here nor there. But, no, it was a great experience. I got put on injured reserve after my last game. I hurt my neck, and I was kind of, you know, a little worried about that and gave it up in January. But, you know, I was ready to move on from football. I had a great career, and I was very pleased with what I did, and, you know, wanted to stay around the game as well. So. And
final question, the hair. You're known for your hair at UNC. The hair's gone. Walk us through that decision. Because that was kind of your thing. You always took pictures with Vargas and, and Nick, the kicker.
So I'd say the best decision I made in my life was coming to Carolina, and the second best I made was cutting my hair. Maybe not second best, but no, it was just time for it to go. I said once I was done playing football that I would cut it.
Yeah.
And so I was done playing football, and when I decided to get into coaching, I had already cut it, but JP, the D coordinator, said, you know, if you're going to work for me, he kind of joked about it. He's like, you got to cut your hair. I was like, Coach, I already cut it.
Yeah.
You know, much cleaner look, you know.
So you always have those pictures that are ingrained.
It was a great run with the long hair. I donated it to Pantene, so I hope some young kid out there got it. Shout out to you.
Gets the flow.
Yeah.
All right, appreciate it, guys. For Inside Carolina, I'm Ross Martin. We got Jeff Schoettmer and Shakeel Rashad.
Hey, follow us on Twitter and Instagram.